Hey everybody, this is D Hunter, bringing their action figure review. Today, we're going to look at the McFarlane DC Multiverse Black Adam Dr. Fate. This is Dr. Fate from the upcoming Black Adam film. I ordered this figure from figurineforall.com. They had them a little bit early, but they're also available at the McFarlane toy store right now. So let's go ahead and check out the packaging. As you can see at the top, 22 moving parts, McFarlane Toys, ages 12 plus, DC Multiverse, Black Adam, Dr. Fate. Here he is in the package. Looks like he has no traditional accessories, but it looks like a flight stand and a collector's card. One side of the package, Dr. Fate from Black Adam. Other side simply says Dr. Fate. At the bottom, there's a bunch of credits, and there is a barcode, in case that happens to help anybody. And on the back side, here's Dr. Fate posed up. So no further ado, let's open him up. And I got this guy and a big lot of figures. 5 of them for the Black Adam movie from figurineforall.com. Once again, these are also available at the McFarlane toy store right now. I should have the other 3 Black Adam figures arriving tomorrow. Alright, now that we got this figure out of the package, here he is with all his accessories laid out. He does come with a flight stand, a collector's card, and no traditional accessories. But before we take a look at those, let us talk about and check out the actual figure. So this is Dr. Fate in the upcoming film Black Adam. He's played by Brosnan. Dr. Fate's real name is Kent Nelson. So let's take a look at him. Start with his helmet here. And at first glance, I thought it had some kind of factory defect. You can see how it's traditionally Dr. Fate sculpted on this side, and it's fairly blank on that side, but that is how it is in the film. I googled it, and a bunch of other figures, pop figures and statues and images from the film all look like this. I do not know why. I would assume maybe it was magically damaged over time. It's odd how it's not symmetrical, considering how order and balance is a big part of Dr. Fate. Anyway, moving on. The suit itself, the black part, nice bit of texture on it. Then we have this gold on top. I feel like this thing is a little bit crooked, and that's just bothering the hell out of me. This cape, it looks great. Black cape, gold sort of shoulder pads with the cape draped down. Double jointed elbows, double jointed knees. He has the newer style wrists and ankle joints. A lot better than those hideous ball joints I used to have. Gold on the inside of the cape. Overall, it's a cool looking figure, and I'm definitely happy one wasn't some freakish deformity, and it's supposed to be that way. Although I definitely want to know why. And just a closer look at his helmet and sculpt. Traditional Dr. Fate. Not quite so much. Now let's take a look at his accessories, and let's start off with the display stand. So the display stand comes in 2 separate pieces. You can use the base as just a regular stand by itself, but when you put the 2 pieces together, you have a flight stand. It's got this circular base, says DC on the bottom, got 1 peg for the peg holes in their feet. Then it's got this post that goes over the top, a clamp to hold your figures, and it can rotate from side to side. It's also hinged. Here's Dr. Fate utilizing the flight stand. Now he doesn't come with any other traditional accessories, but there's a couple other things I wanted to look at. Here are the 2 sound wave effects that came with Shriek. I thought these would be good for some magical energy effects from Dr. Fate. I put some sticky tack in the middle of one side. Then I'm going to take Dr. Fate here, his hand, hinge it up, and attach them like so. Here's Dr. Fate holding these energy effects, little shields. I think it came out really well. Now I was also curious about doing a head swap. Since this Dr. Fate has such an unusual looking helmet, I thought some people might want to make a traditional Dr. Fate out of this guy. McFarlane has given us 2 options, the Injustice Dr. Fate and the Last Night on Earth Wonder Woman Dr. Fate helmet. Even though Wonder Woman is a female under that helmet, you really shouldn't be able to tell the difference with the head swap. Here's this Black Adam Dr. Fate body with the Injustice Dr. Fate head. Looks a lot more traditional. And here he is with the Last Night on Earth Wonder Woman with Dr. Fate helmet head. I think this looks even better. I was also curious if I might be able to find someone to work for an unmasked Kent Nelson Dr. Fate. I took this Westworld Dr. Ford head. Now, the actor is Anthony Hopkins. I'm having trouble seeing past that. But it's an older guy, gray hair, clean cut. Kind of matches what I picture Kent Nelson to look like. Definitely not like Pierce Brosnan for this film, though. Now that we've taken a pretty good look at both the figure and his accessories, now let's check out his height. From bottom to the top of his head, he's standing at about 7.25 inches tall, which can translate to about 18.5 centimeters. Now let's check out his articulation. Starting with his head here, of course, it can rotate from side to side. He can look up about that far and then down that far, which is pretty good considering how restricting the helmet could be. He can tilt his head from one side to the other. Shoulders on a ball joint, goes up more than 90 degrees, up, down, around, all that good stuff. He's got a butterfly joint between his shoulder and chest area, increase the range of motion and covering up that gap. Bicep cut below that, double jointed elbows below that. His wrists, and it's done in the new style, a lot more seamless, not those ugly ball joints. I remember how bad they were in the Injustice Dr. Fate. Kind of rotate, and it's going to be hinged as well. Ball joint his torso, rotate around, forward and back. Another ball joint his waist, rotate around, forward and back, giving him pretty good range of motion in his torso area. Legs completely touch the splits, not a ball joint, but a similar type concept. Rotation is pretty good on this guy. Legs go this far forward, back about that much. Double jointed knees below that. Then his ankles here, also done in the new style. Rotate, forward and back, tilt, rock, and toe articulation. Here's Dr. Fate hovering in the sky above the rooftops. Here's the Justice Society of America meeting up. They're discussing the Black Adam situation. Enter Black Adam. He arrives in the city streets. And here's the JSA, ready for action. All pulling out their weapons, ready to go. I imagine in the movie when they first find Black Adam, it's going to lead to a big battle. And then, by the end of the movie, they will have joined forces to save the world. They'll presumably be teaming up to take on Sabak, save the world in Kandak. And during that battle, Dr. Fate busts through the side of a building. Power's wild. Now let's check them out next to some other action figures, starting off with some other McFarlane DC Multiverse figures. Here's Dr. Fate, next to all the other 7-inch scale figures from the Black Adam movie wave. Atom Smasher, Hawkman, Dr. Fate, Black Adam, and Cyclone. Then, next to the two mega figures, Sabak and Atom Smasher. Here's the entire Black Adam wave we have so far. Total of 8 figures. There is, I believe, an upcoming Black Adam deluxe figure with Throne. And I think there's also going to be some kind of vehicle from the Black Adam movie. Here's this Black Adam Dr. Fate, next to the Injustice 2 Dr. Fate. And here, next to the Batman Last Night on Earth, Wonder Woman wearing the Helmet of Fate. Here are all the different Dr. Fate figures McFarlane has given us so far. And the funny thing is, the only one that's actually from the comics is Wonder Woman. Here's Dr. Fate, next to Black Adam from Justice League Endless Winter. Now Black Adam is part of the DC Cinematic Universe. It's a shared universe with a bunch of DC films. Here's Black Adam next to the figures from the Suicide Squad. The Suicide Squad also exists in the DC Cinematic Universe, so it's possible you could see these characters interact in the future. And here's Dr. Fate with McFarlane's figures from Zack Snyder's Justice League. Zack Snyder's Justice League is also part of the DC Cinematic Universe. It'd be really cool to see Superman or Batman interacting with Black Adam and Dr. Fate. Then, next to Harley Quinn from Birds of Prey, which is also in that same shared universe. And here's Dr. Fate, next to McFarlane's Wonder Woman 1984 figures, also part of the shared universe. Now, the DC Cinematic Universe is not the only live-action universe McFarlane has made figures from. Here's Dr. Fate, next to the CW's Arrowverse, Arrow, and Flash. And the Arrowverse is not connected to the DC Cinematic Universe in any way, shape, or form. And here's Dr. Fate, next to McFarlane's recently The Batman Wave. The Batman is a live-action DC film that is also not part of the DC Cinematic Universe. Now let's check him out, next to some other recently released McFarlane DC Multiverse figures. Here he is, next to the Blackest Night Wave. Collect to build Atrocitus. Then, next to both variations of the Page Puncher Batman. And here, next to both versions of the Dark Detective Batman. Then, next to all 3 versions of Lex Luthor in his power suit. And here, Next to the McFarlane Toy Store exclusive gold label versions of the unmasked Zarnar Batman and the unmasked Infinite Frontier Robin. Then, next to the Crime Syndicate's Ultraman and Superwoman. And now, with the Batman Who Laughs dressed as Batman and the Entertainment Earth exclusive Glow the Dark Batman Beyond. And now, next to the Batman vs. Hush 2-pack. Then, with the single release of Hush. And here, next to Ghostmaker. And here's Dr. Fate with the John Kent Superboy and Tim Drake Red Robin. Then, with the Grifter and Arkham Knight. Here's Dr. Fate with the TV show Flash and the comic Godspeed. And then, with the Injustice 2, Green Arrow, and Reverse Flash. And finally, here's Dr. Fate next to the two most recent Mega figures, at least before the Black Adam wave, Killer Croc and Man-Bat. Now let's check him out next to some action figures from different various companies to see how he fits in both scale and style-wise, in case you don't know what lines you can mix him with. Since he's a McFarlane figure, they're typically the 7-inch scale. I'm going to start off my comparisons with some of the large action figure lines I collect and work my way smaller. But first, let's check him out with some of his McFarlane Toys brothers. In front of you are 5 different action figure lines, all from McFarlane Toys, all 7-inch scale. Then, with some more McFarlane Toys, these are from different various video game properties. And now, next to some Jack-specific wrestling figures. And here he is, next to some DST or Diamond Select toys. Then, with some DC Direct and DC Collectibles figures. And here, with some NECA figures. Then, with some Mattel wrestling figures. And now, with some Jazzwares AEW wrestlers. And here he is, next to some Mezco 112 collective figures. Then, next to some Mattel DC Universe Classics and Multiverse figures. And here, with some Mafex figures. Then, with some Hasbro Marvel Legends. And here he is, next to some SH Figure Arts action figures. And finally, next to some Jazzwares Fortnite figures. Overall, he's a pretty nice figure. I'm pretty excited to see Dr. Fate in live action form for the first time ever. I think Pierce Brosnan will make a great Kent Nelson. This guy's accessories, frankly, they're non-existent. He definitely should have had something, some sort of spell or energy effects. The flight stand is appreciated, but not a traditional accessory. His articulation is everything you would expect from a McFarlane DC Multiverse figure. Sculpt and paint job are excellent. I thought I had some sort of factory defect, but his helmet is supposed to look that way. If I were to rate this guy, I think I'm going to give him a very solid 7.5 out of 10. Enjoying this guy. He may not replace my Injustice Dr. Fate as my main overall Dr. Fate from Action Figure World, but he's good for the movie version. So this is D Hunter. Thank you guys for watching this video. If you liked the video, press like below. If you have anything you want to say about the video, add to the comment section. If you want to see additional action figure reviews from me, press subscribe. I do appreciate when you do that. Once again, this is D Hunter. Thank you guys for watching this video, and I'll talk to you guys real soon.